Let's look at it again. So Luke 21:24 says, okay, it says, and there they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the key that I want you to get in this is that the Gentiles, right, are a specific people. So to understand who is trodden down Jerusalem, right, because we got to remember that the Messiah said they shall be led captive or prisoners of war into all nations. Who is the they? The Israelites that were in the land of the day, which in this particular case was the tribe of Yehuda, right? And a few descendants of the Benjamites, because I think Shaul Paul was a Benjamite, tribe of Benjamin, right? Ben Amin, okay? So, and then you had some priests that were there too, that brought back in 2 Kings chapter 17 under the king of Assyria, right? So he said that they would be led captive into all nations, right? And that in itself right there could possibly debunk the 12 tribes right there, because we didn't have all 12 tribes right there in the land. So take it for what it is, right? All right, but this is not a lesson on the 12 tribes chart. But now, so the key I want you to see is that he said they shall be led captive. Okay, so the word for captive, let's look at it right quick. The word for captive is Strong's number 164. It says to make captive, right? And it's from 164, which is it says a prisoner of war, right? A captive. So that's what happened to the so-called African Americans and Negroes. We were captured through war and enslaved from the Arab slave trade, right? The trans-Saharan slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, right? There's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, written by a author that I know have met personally, Rudolph Windsor. And it explains that the so-called black people or Israelites went from Babylon to Timbuktu. Once they got into Timbuktu, there was a development of a kingdom called Negro Land, right? And then after the Muslim conquest came into the interior of Africa and forced many of the Hebrews to convert, those that didn't convert became slaves and was sold into slavery. And that's how we ended up into the transatlantic slave trade, right? Okay. You can watch a movie called Amistad. Amistad is real good. It breaks that down. But let me get back to the text. So he says that, and that Jerusalem would be trodden down of the Gentiles, right? So now, for us to go further in this dissertation, we got to know what it means by Gentiles, okay? So appropriately, the word for Gentile is the word, it says ethnos, or a race, right? A foreign, non-Hebrew or non-Yahudim. It says Jewish there. We'll deal with that another time, right? But in other words, these were not Israelites. The word in the Greek text right there tells you that they were non-Hebrews, right? Okay, so now, but I want to show you that word Gentile is not a Hebrew word, because the word for Gentile is goy. We're going to show you in the book of Genesis. So let's go to Genesis chapter 10, because the table of nations tells you who the Gentiles are. So now I want you to look at this chapter 10. It said, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood, right? So every man, regardless of what anybody tell you, everybody came from one of these three sons after the flood. There was no miraculous people that just popped up from somewhere. Black people came from somewhere else. No. We came from one of the sons of Noah, according to what the scripture says, right? Now, it says the sons of Japheth. I'm going to show you so you can see. Expansion. Japheth means expansion. It's pronounced Y-E-P-H-E-T-H. Japheth. Are Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Yavan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families in their nations. So what you got to get out of that is these Gentiles that the Messiah is talking about are the sons of Japheth, right? Because when we see this word Gentile, right, the word Gentile, we look at it in the Hebrew, it's the word goy, right? But Gentile is an English word. So if you do an etymology of the word Gentile, I'm not going to do it in this lesson because you can go to American Heritage and you can pull it up. And you can see that the word that's being used for Gentiles is an English word that connects back to gentleman, right? Which, and the etymology of the word connects to German, right? So that's interesting, right? That word connects back to German, right? Germanic tribes, right? So that's who he says. The Messiah says that these Gentiles or the Germanic tribes were trodden down Jerusalem. That's who's tried Jerusalem down, the Germans. Now, if you go back into the King James, Genesis chapter 10, I want you to look at this word Gomer. See that word there? It's pronounced Gomer. The R, you roll the R, Gomer. Okay. The sons of Gomer are Ashkenaz. Now, so who is Ashkenaz? Ashkenaz is also known as the Ashkenazi Jews, right? They are the Gentiles that the Messiah was talking about in Luke 21 and 24. That Jerusalem would be trodden down by the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. That's why they call themselves what? Ashkenazi Jews. Because they're the ones that the scripture says would trodden down Jerusalem until the times of the Ashkenazi Jews is fulfilled. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? So now that we get the Gentiles, we're talking about the sons of Gomer, right? But specifically, now, why did he choose that word Gentile to refer to all the sons of Japheth? That's a question that we've got to answer at another time. But since the text says the isles of the Gentiles were divided by the sons of Japheth, then we'll just lump them all in there and we'll just say that they are the Gentiles. So the time of the Gentiles also includes them as well, which includes the Greeks, the Romans, right? And the seafarers, all of them are included in the Gentiles, right? So that's what I want you to take away from that, the Gentiles, okay? So now that we're clear on that, now we know that the Messiah gave a specific prophecy that the children of Yehuda who were in the land when the Messiah was crucified would be led captive, prisoners of war, into all nations. Right? And there you have it. So you got to look at it from this angle. When you find the people that were led captive into all nations, then you have found this prophecy fulfilled.